At first, they all had some doubts whether Poles who lost their war in Poland and went through the defeat in France, whether they have any stomach to fight again. Well, they proved that they have. Every one of us believed firmly that Great Britain will fight, and this is our chance to regroup again, and this time we will fight alongside the British forces, and in the end the Germans will be eventually defeated. I was fighting for my country. It was for ours and your freedom. Within 2 weeks of the Battle of Britain, the territory Scotland was quite known throughout the country. Congratulatory letters from the Prime Minister, from the King, from private persons were coming to the squadron. Again, presents were sent to the squadron. A school sent 450 cigarettes for the squadron. The good name of the squadron grew as battle progressed. The most successful squadron in the Battle of Britain was 303. They shot down 126 aircraft, and that was the highest number destroyed by any squadron. The most successful pilot was the guest of the squadron, a Czech pilot. His name was Franciszek. When the Czechoslovakia surrendered to Hitler's demand, he and a number of other pilots flew to Poland, left Czechoslovakia, and they joined. The Polish Air Force offered them opportunity to fly, accepted them, and when we found ourselves in England, there were 2 Czech squadrons, 310 and 312, but with all Czech pilots, but Franciszek didn't want to fly in any of them. He wanted to fly with the Poles. And he came to 303, and he shot down, I think, 17 enemy aircraft, which was the biggest number any pilot in the Battle of Britain had shot down. The Pole, the most successful Pole in 303 was Urbanowicz. He shot down 15 enemy aircraft. The officers who were sent to command the squadron, they hated the idea of joining foreigners who don't speak English. Every one of them would give his right hand to be posted away, but they were kept there. They changed their mind. I think the contribution of the Poles in the Battle of Britain was quite considerable, and it was appreciated by High Command of the Royal Air Force. At first, they all had some doubts whether Poles who lost their war in Poland and went through the defeat in France, whether they have any stomach to fight again. Well, they proved that they have. I joined the squadron in mid-October. But at that time, in that area, there was hardly any enemy action. So this was a good place for the squadron to rest, recuperate, retrain before coming back to Northwold. I do wish I had flown in the Battle of Britain. This was the biggest air battle ever, and it would have been wonderful and great to take part in it and survive, of course, to tell the story. My first operational flight was on the 20th, about 20th of November. We take off. I felt quite at ease and ready to come and meet what will come our way. Will I come back? Certainly I will come back. We'll see how it will go. During the war, I flew 111 combat missions over the enemy territory and the coastal areas near France, Holland, and Belgium. I was shot at and I was shooting at them. Now, whether I shot down anybody, I don't know. I hope I didn't. They were young men, the same as I. It's a ghastly thing to kill a person. I flew for 9 months hurricanes, and for about 3 years Spitfires. Well, Hurricane was a great platform for armament. It was a workhorse aeroplane, strong. It took a lot of punishment on landing and wouldn't disintegrate. It had good visibility forward. On landing, you could see dead ahead the runway, unlike Spitfire. It has its very good points, but of course it's a totally different aircraft from Spitfire. Everybody loves Spitfire, and anybody who flew is really dedicated to it. Spitfire has a very small cockpit. Its shape, its instrument panels, and everything inside makes you feel that you're a part of the machine. You were sort of sealed together in that machine, and it felt like it, and you could do anything with it. It was a ballerina. When the war ended, we lost. Everybody won. We lost because the country was given to really hand it over to Soviet Union to do what they please. This was the prize for the Russians' cooperations during the period of the war. It was the hardest time in my life when I heard about the Yalta Agreement, and that all our hopes were gone, and that all the efforts and all the belief that we had was for nothing, really. Russians took over that part of Poland, eastern part of Poland, and the Russians set up in Poland a communist government. And also there were promises of free elections and a democratic government and all the rest. It never happened. And now I'm left in the West. I don't know what to do, but that did not matter. My view was that whatever I do, I had no personal obligation to anybody. I was not married, so I couldn't care less what I do. My desire was to get back to Poland, and I couldn't do it. And all the effort, all the time we were in England, we lived with the hope that we will return to free Poland, and it never happened. As a matter of fact, I had a letter from my brother who said that my mother said that I should write to you and tell you that she wants to see you before she dies. Well, it was a very emotional meeting. We both cried. She asked about my family, my sons, my wife, and when I was leaving, we both knew that this is the last time when we'll see one another. It was an emotional departure. She didn't cry, and neither did I. But we knew that this is the last time we meet.